North Canyon Medical Center now has a new machine that kills germs throughout the entire facility. Our Idaho News 6 reporter Alex Grant has more on how it works.
The Total Room Ultraviolet Disinfection System, or TRU-D, is brought into rooms after they've already been cleaned to completely remove any remaining germs.
It senses how many surfaces there are and what type of surfaces they are. So it will actually emit the light, and then it'll take back how much light comes back. And then it's constantly changing in order to make sure that it cleans those surfaces.
Once on a surface, the UV light from TRU-D directly attacks the germ cells.
The UVC light energy generated by TRU-D modifies the DNA or RNA structure of an infectious cell so that it cannot reproduce. A cell that cannot reproduce cannot colonize, and therefore cannot harm patients or staff.
The machine is now only being used for patient and operating rooms, yet there are plans in the future to use it elsewhere in the hospital.
We'll work on getting that schedule set up, and after we find out how that schedule works, then we'll consider using it in other spaces, such as our lobby and different things like that.
This system enhances the hospital's cleaning efforts and will not act as a substitute towards people's jobs.
We're not exchanging staff for robots. That's not an option. For us, it's just the enhanced level of security and safety that North Canyon is doing everything possible to protect our patients and our staff.
North Canyon officials feel this is part of the future for hospitals ensuring hygiene and safety.
Organisms are changing and doing things just like in regular life, and we have to be on the cutting edge, and so really taking an opportunity to be at the top of the technology that's out there.
In Gooding, I'm Alex Grant, Idaho News 6.
Governor Little recently signed the Wrongful Conviction Act into law, allowing those wrongfully convicted in the state to be compensated. Idaho News 6 reporter Stephanie Garibay spoke with some of those responsible for making this happen and what they hope it means for the future.
Charles Fain served 17 years on death row for the murder and rape of a 9-year-old girl in Nampa. But DNA testing would later prove he did not commit the crime, and he was freed from jail, being given only a pair of dungarees and a jacket on his way out.
They didn't even give Charles Fain the normal services that they give to someone who's actually committed a murder and is leaving prison. So the exonerees in this state were left in very bad shape when they were freed.
The Idaho Innocence Project lobbied to get Fain compensated for the time he served behind bars, but they were unsuccessful. But after helping exonerate Christopher Tapp, a man who served 20 years behind bars for the rape and murder of Angie Dodge, they were contacted by Senator Doug Ricks, who wanted to help these exonerees.
And I was so happy. Someone's actually calling us to try to get compensation going.
They created the Wrongful Conviction Act, and Senator Ricks presented it to the legislative session last year. But Governor Little vetoed the bill, voicing concerns over how parts of the bill, which included medical insurance, would be paid for. But this year, Little signed the bill into law alongside Christopher Tapp.
Those stories change your life, right? And I knew if the legislators and the governor could just talk to these guys, could just hear some of what it was like to go into prison and have your, in Chris's case, his father die, and he can't even see his dad when his dad, is not doing well.
The Wrongful Conviction Act will give exonerees $62,000 for each year of wrongful imprisonment, or $75,000 for each year wrongfully served on death row. Greg tells us the next goal for the Idaho Innocence Project is to get Christopher Tapp and Charles Fain the compensation they deserve.
Mr. Fain is 74 years old, still working. He can't retire. Maybe this will give him what he needs to get his health taken care of, to retire. He's a great guy, real, just a salt of the earth, good human being.
Stephanie Garibay, Idaho News 6.
Still ahead on Idaho News 6, we have some tips to cut down on the sniffles this allergy season, which is already here in force. And coming up next, we're going to take you inside a new exhibit at the Idaho State Museum that honors and shines a light on the trailblazing women who've left their mark on the Gem State.
This is Idaho News 6.
This month is Women's History Month. From the prairies of the Palouse to the peaks of the Sawtooth and even out into space, Idaho has a rich and diverse history of strong women. These trailblazers have impacted all reaches of Idaho politics, academics, and culture. And now the Idaho State Museum has a new engaging exhibit that highlights their impact. Idaho News 6's Natasha Williams introduces us to the local woman who put it together.
Getting to that point where you can convey a story in a really concise way, that's an art form.
Sarah PHILLIPS is a storyteller and a self-proclaimed history nerd. So when she had the chance to put together an exhibit featuring Idaho's female trailblazers, it was a match made in heaven.
The absolutely incredible things that women have done and the legacy that we get the privilege to carry, that's our torch.
The women featured in the exhibit are all Idahoans, and there's no shortage of powerful stories.
It was a really difficult process to try to figure everybody out, because how do you pick? How do you get to that point where it's like, well, I'm gonna highlight this person and we're gonna make it magical for them.
One of the first things that visitors to the exhibit will notice is an interactive model where you can pick a string that corresponds with your own personal characteristics. From there, you can take a visit to any of the 4 color-coded options: barrier breakers, made of steel, revolutionaries, or voices of change.
After countless hours of research and dozens of stories, the one that stuck out to Sarah the most was the Queen of Swing, Mildred Bailey.
So she actually changed American jazz music.
The Queen of Swing was raised on the Coeur d'Alene Reservation in northern Idaho. When she grew up, her sound would inspire superstars like Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra. Until now, her story has never been shared quite like this.
How else do you tell a story of somebody who's left us other than hearing their voice, seeing their pictures, talking with their family about what a person they were?
Her story and the dozens of others showcase diversity.
As people walk through, they're gonna see people from all sorts of different backgrounds, from different cultures, different physical abilities, so my hope is that everybody sees themselves somewhere in this exhibit.
Sending the message that anyone can be a trailblazer.
To be here, it just gave me chills just thinking about it again, just knowing that here are the stories and you can find yourself everywhere.
Natasha Williams, Idaho News 6.
And if you would like to check out the exhibit, it will be available during museum hours until November. Also, admission is free on the first Thursday of each month, and we'll have more information on our website, idahonews6.com.
Coming up next on my Idaho News 6 weather forecast for the Magic Valley, we're talking about some sunshine moving back on, and temperatures are pretty comfortable as well. We'll look at the forecast through the upcoming week into the weekend. Coming up next.
Meteorologist Scott Dorval with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Well, it remains mild after a mild weekend. We're mild again during the day today. I'm going to look at the forecast for the entire week coming up, but I want to talk about it's Monday. I figured we check out the snowpack and see how we're doing in Idaho's high country. We didn't have a lot of precipitation over the past week or so, so let's take a look at the numbers now. And we look across the state, and what you'll notice is that we still have some green showing up to our south, and in the Salmon Falls Basin and the Goose Creek Basin, still in the 90s, but lower 90s now, 92 in Salmon Falls, 93 at Goose Creek. Hey, the Snake Basin still has 96% of average, which is great. But the Wood River Basin and the Lost Basin, those are low at 71%. In fact, there's some pretty dry conditions going on there. In fact, as we look at the drought monitor, this is the National Drought Monitor. Notice the scale up at the top. Dry is in yellow, and the deepest shade of brown is an exceptional drought. So the second shade of color is where you have a moderate drought. So that light brown, but that deep brown is exceptional, and there's a lot of that over the Four Corners into Nevada and Utah. As you look across the Northwest, really the only places in the West that don't have drought conditions are north of the Salmon River in Idaho, around Seattle and Portland as well, at I-5 corridor there. But as we zoom on in, notice how we've got for Twin Falls, dry conditions and then moderate droughts as you get down towards Jackpot and some of the higher elevations to the south there. But we've got some pretty good snowpack, which is good. It's the Wood River Valley and the Lost Basin, the Wood Basin and the Lost Basin, where we're seeing extreme drought. categorization there. So we'll keep an eye on this for you. And as we go through the spring, we could certainly use lots of moisture. Even though it starts turning into rain, it really helps out. Farmers don't take as much demand, and you start soaking it in the soil. 60 degrees from our canyon cam, top of elevation 46 Bistro, and breeze out of the east at 12, gusting to 24. You know what? It's a pretty nice day, pretty mild. We touched 62 in Twin Falls, 63 in Burley and in Jerome, and 54 degrees in Haley today. Doppler radar does show some isolated showers nearby. Most of them aren't reaching the ground, but some are, and so there's some sprinkles out there. We'll see a few this evening, but you know what? I think we'll just tend to dry out overnight tonight. We'll have some cloud cover sticking around into tomorrow morning. We may call it a partly cloudy day, but that storm over central Nevada, stay to our south like our last storm system, although it is spreading some cloud cover in. It should stay, mostly to the south. If you're looking to wash the car, looks pretty good for the next couple of days. You might want to wait as you start getting towards Thursday, as we have a chance for some showers coming in the day on Friday. Let's take a look at our forecasts, and starting with the Wood River Valley, temperatures near 50 on Tuesday and Wednesday, and above 50 on Thursday. That's some pretty mild weather. Some bluebird ski weather coming in again, and then maybe some morning rain and snow showers on Friday. But over the weekend, see drying weather, and that's going to be the trend for just about everybody, to get drying weather over the weekend after a chance for showers on Friday. So mostly sunny in the northern Magic Valley tomorrow, with highs in the mid-50s in Bliss and Gooding and Shoshone, 55 in Twin Falls and Murtaugh as well. Could be close to 60 in Hagerman, about 50 in Jackpot. Lots of sunshine. West-northwest breeze, 10 to 15 miles an hour in the Mini-Cache region, maybe that northwest breeze around Pomerelle, but a partly cloudy day, really not bad at all during the day tomorrow. And then it starts to warm from there. There's that warming trend, 61 on Wednesday, 67 on Thursday, and then you see that drop a little bit down with some showers in the afternoon on Friday. Over the weekend, it will be cooler than it's going to be most of the week. But Roland, it's still going to be, it looks like it's fairly dry. And 67 on Thursday, that's another warming trend this week. So we've got that to look forward to.
Gosh, when are we going to get the good weather, Scott?
You're right. I know.
This is perfect. I love this. All right, thanks, Scott. Coming up next on Idaho News 6. Yes, spring is here. Pollen is in the air. We're going to show you how you can take some steps to lessen the effects of allergies this season. More than 50 million Americans suffer from seasonal allergies every year, and if you're one of them, you may already be feeling the effects of the tree pollen. But what you do now can help you throughout allergy season. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Your Health Matters.
It's that time of year again. Spring is in the air, literally.
Here we go with our next several months of pollen season.
Tackle your allergies early before symptoms start. Do your doctor recommended therapy about 1 to 2 weeks before pollen season, says Dr. FLAVIA, HOYTE, an allergist at National Jewish Health.
The idea there is really to just kind of get ahead of the inflammation, not let the inflammation start up so that you're not kind of chasing your tail throughout the season.
It's especially important to protect your lungs now during the pandemic. Dr. HOYTE says allergies don't appear to put a person at higher risk for more severe COVID-19, but she says when your airways are inflamed, you're less able to clear viruses.
The lower the inflammation in the airway, the better the airway can function. And part of that functioning is really clearing anything that comes in the nose that needs to get pushed back out.
And since some allergy symptoms can overlap with those of COVID-19, Dr. HOYTE says to call your doctor if you have any questions.
If you have any concerns, any new symptoms, any symptoms that feel weird, different, more severe than normal, certainly we can help guide you through understanding, is this allergies, is this possibly COVID-19?
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, here's a live look from our iFlyTwinFalls.com Canyon Cam and a last look at weather with Scott coming up next. All right, lastly, we've got some crazy pictures to show you. It can only be described as an amazing rescue after a crash on the interstate leaves a truck and 2 people dangling off a Magic Valley bridge. Look at this video, a picture at least. This is off the eastbound lanes, I-84, right at the Malad Gorge. Crews from Jerome, Gooding, Twin Falls, ITD responded to the crash. 2 people rescued safely from the crash, But for now, the interstate is shut down. Drivers are being detoured on Highway 30 through Buell and Twin Falls. The Idaho State Police tonight thanking all first responders, calling the rescue efforts truly heroic. No word yet on what led to the crash, but that's not a spot you want to find yourself in right there. Thankfully, for all those rescue crews doing their amazing jobs as always. Looks like a couple might be pretty lucky tonight, Scott. Boy, you thank your lucky stars after that one.
Yeah. Driven by that so many times. That is a deep gorge down there. And you think, oh, this is where I got to go over the railing? Oh, that's, I hate to even think about that. Awful. Well, nice to see that that was the case. Let's take a look at what's going on for the day tomorrow on our forecast. I think sunshine will make an appearance as the day progresses. The morning, more cloud cover, but in the afternoon, more sunshine, and eventually becoming pretty comfortable with temperatures in the 50s with a bit of a breeze. Thanks for joining us.
On air, online, on mobile. This is Idaho News 6.
The state is receiving more and more COVID-19 vaccines, but it seems now there are still plenty of vaccination appointments to go around. Thanks for watching tonight on Channel 6, Roku, or wherever you're streaming. I'm Karen Lair.
And I'm Don Nelson. As of today, Idahoans ages 55 to 64 with at least one medical condition are eligible to get a dose. While many are still anxiously waiting for an appointment, some are changing their minds last minute and not showing up for their time slot. To prevent doses going to waste, many providers have created no waste lists. Nicole Camarda has more on one nonprofit's effort to get more doses in arms rather than in the trash.
No one wants to see these vaccines go into the trash bin. We all know how important they are, and that, a really important part of us crushing the curve is to be able to get people vaccinated.
To avoid vaccine doses going unused or expiring, Crush the Curve is one of the providers in the Treasure Valley offering a no waste list for vaccine doses.
What these lists do is they really just help people have a place where they can sign up. They're basically saying, hey, at the drop of a hat, I'm willing to go wherever, in my county or whatever, to be able to get one of these doses versus them going to the trash.
When you log on to Crush the Curve or Vaccinate the 208's website, a chat box will pop up asking if you need help finding an appointment and checking your eligibility, which if your group is open, then you can make an appointment. But if not,
they can just request to be on a no wait list there. They're given a link to sign up, and the process is pretty seamless.
Crush the Curve uses this no waste list if people don't show for appointments and shares the list with providers they work with.
Some will give us a link where we can sign up these individuals also so that they're able to reach out to them. And, we'll hear back from people saying like, yay, totally got in. Thanks for putting me on your list. Also, when we vaccinate, we're able to draw for those same lists as well.
With vaccine supply more consistent, it's still recommended to not double book appointments because that could also lead to vaccine doses being wasted.
The downstream, the ripple effect of that is you run that risk, right, of leaving these providers with potentially vaccine that's going to end up in a trash can. And, it's just not what's best overall. So I would say, try to have more faith in the fact that we've got that more supply, constant, consistent supply chain. And just if you get an appointment, just hold that appointment versus jumping around.
Nicole Camarda, Idaho News 6.
Idaho News 6 has been tracking where people across the Treasure Valley can get vaccinated, and as of this afternoon, pharmacies all across the valley had available appointments. To see when you can get the shot, visit idahonews6.com for up-to-date information.
Idaho News 6 starts with breaking news.
Breaking news to tell you about now. What can only be described as an amazing rescue after an interstate crash leaves a truck and two people dangling dangerously off a Magic Valley bridge. Check this out. The crash happened in the eastbound lanes of I-84 right at the Mallard Gorge. Crews from Jerome, Gooding, Twin Falls, and ITD responded to this crash. Two people were rescued safely. For now, though, the interstate is shut down and drivers are being detoured on Highway 30 through Buell and Twin Falls. The Idaho State Police tonight are thanking all first responders, calling the rescue efforts truly heroic. No word yet on what led to that crash. In other news tonight, anti-government activist Ammon Bundy is once again arrested after failing to attend his trial on charges that he trespassed during the special legislative session last fall. Bundy didn't show up in court today because he was protesting outside of the building, instead apparently angry in part over mask requirements put in place. Bundy was joined